searching for a friend. Then you stumble on somebody's namely Matt, namely Ann, who are equally obsessed with why they make a thing again. Come on, Rick, Rudy, and the Beast.
Elika namen namen, atum atum, Elika namen. Elika namen namen, atum, Elika namen. This is Rebooting the Beast, a podcast in 2 parts. I'm Matt Molinaro.
Oh my god, you're so stupid. I'm En Burke. In the first episode, we review an original piece of media, and in episode 2, we discuss the reboot.
Yes, and here we are, doing the reboot.
Yes, we're in our final journey to Oz, I think.
For now, unfortunately for me, and probably fortunately for you, I've enjoyed our time here.
There's nothing on the horizon, right? Like I'm not going to be suddenly sidelined by some surprise Oz content.
Not to my knowledge. I mean, I think there have been whispers in the world. I think they're just hopeful people, but enough that I've seen, articles and posts about it, that now that Wicked has done so well, they might, try to expand on the sort of Oz universe.
Okay.
Outside of the standard Wicked story, because as you know, there's a million books.
Yeah.
Or I don't know. I think we've talked about it before, rather. There's tons of books and tons of characters that haven't been explored in, regular media. So I think there's talks of, this won't be the last we hear of the world of Oz, but I think it's the last of the Wicked and Wizard of Oz adjacents.
I mean, if those characters have the depth of range and backstory that the Gump had from Return to Oz, then I think there is just an endless mine to draw upon.
You don't know how hard I was looking for hints of Return to Oz in this movie when I was rewatching it. I was like,
oh my gosh,
did they have a little random robot looking like TikTok somewhere?
Is the
Gump going to be one of the animals in the cages?
Did you end up finding anything?
No. But I did find some similarities to The Wiz, actually, on second watch of this.
Oh, interesting.
I felt like, well, we'll get to it. But yeah, there were some characteristics in this, and I was like, you know what? This really reminds me more of The Wiz than anything else. So I thought that was kind of
interesting.
Cool. Yeah. I mean, I guess it makes sense, because The Wiz is more true to the book than The Wizard of Oz is.
Is it?
Well, it has more, it has the silver... It has the silver slippers instead of the ruby slippers.
Oh,
it has, some of the characters are in there that aren't in the West, like the Wheelies or Wheelers or whatever.
Yeah. Okay, that makes sense.
So, I don't know. And, of course, they have, the Reese's on the nose of the Reese's wrapper on the nose of the Scarecrow, which is absolutely from the book early on.
Yeah, canon event.
Obsession.
Yeah. So obviously today we're doing Wicked for Good, which came out in 2025, starring Cynthia Erivo and Ariana Grande and Jonathan Bailey and Michelle Yeoh and Jeff Goldblum.
Yes. The amount of times I said while watching this movie with Davey the other day, Madam Marvel, flip it around, Wicked Witch.
Wicked Witch.
100,000. Every time I see her on the screen, I just think of it.
I love that, and I just love those moments where clearly some gay on social media has caught the thing that the person is saying in every press tour interview. It's so much fun to me.
Oh my god! Do you remember those old supercuts of Mariah Carey saying "festive"?
Oh yeah, of course. And,
across the years.
And there can be 100 people in a room.
Oh.
I feel like that was kind of like the first press tour big moment of, okay, they're just repeating the same stories every time.
Oh, for sure. That was the most iconic one, I feel like. We have to do that series on this podcast soon.
A Star is Born?
Yeah.
Yeah, we should.
The little trio. That's very our podcast, and let's face it, it's very queer.
Yes. So it's Barbara Streisand is one of them. And then who's the third?
It's Barbara Streisand.
It's not Liza Minnelli.
No. Gosh, who is the first one?
It's the furthest back one, right?
Yeah. Let me see. Oh, okay. Janet Gaynor. I wouldn't have known that.
No, me either.
Sorry, Janet Gaynor.
I mean, what year did that come out?
Yeah, never mind. 1937. Oh, okay, wait,
yeah.
Hold on. I think there's one after this between... Anyway, we could do this another time.
Okay.
But We should do that for the podcast. I've seen only the Barbara Streisand one and the most recent one. So
I've only seen the Lady Gaga one.
oh, okay, yeah. So I was gonna ask if you've seen it or not.
Yeah, I loved it. It was great.
Okay.
Anyway,
So this movie, I mean, we've already done kind of like expectations and stuff from when we did the first Wicked, but you know, you liked the first Wicked, right?
I really liked the first Wicked, yeah.
Yeah. And I mentioned I saw Wicked on Broadway before we just saw this movie. So I do have some things that were changed, I think, from the show to the movie that were interesting changes that I'll bring up along the way.
I was going to ask, overall, would you say the two movies have more content, the same content, or less content than the musical?
I guess this feels like a cop-out answer, but I think it's less and more in some ways because in the movies you get way more coloring in the lines of Elphaba and Glinda's relationship. You get a lot more time with them, a lot more like moments of you feel their connection more in the movie, which I think is important for the storyline. And I feel like in the movie you get more time to just see the magic of the world, and there's, you know, but in the show, for example, the Nessa Rose storyline, I feel like you get more understanding of her storyline from the show than the movie. Okay. I feel like the movie's too afraid to make her like a non-sympathetic character. Okay. If that makes sense. Mm-hmm. Anyway, I feel like some things have a bigger impact by not having the extra time added to it. Okay. Like, you don't need all the extra storyline, for example. Like, in the movie, you get more time with with Elphaba and Fiyero, but I feel like in the show, you feel more of a passion between them, even though you get less time seeing them together. Okay, interesting. So, anyway. Do you want the summary from IMDb, even though it's very basic? I do, please. Okay, it just says, Elphaba, the future Wicked Witch of the West, around. And her relationship with... Sorry, I just start over now. I'm so derailed by Michelle Yeoh. Elphaba, the future Wicked Witch of the West, and her relationship with Glinda, the Good Witch of the North. Wow, that's all it says. The second part of a 2-part film adaptation of the Broadway musical. Wow. Well, it doesn't really tell you anything. Nothing. Pitiful. Waste of time. Well, okay, so I feel like I should have rewatched the first Wicked before watching this again, because the movie starts off in kind of what I expected of, you know, this sort of like Oz feeling like more darker and like militaristic than it did in the past, because that's kind of where the first one ended up. Mm-hmm. And like, you know, there's of course all the like propaganda about the Wicked Witch, Elphaba, and how she like steals children and hates Oz and all of that, while the like political regime is kind of still rounding up talking animals, and animals are like on the run, leaving Oz. Yeah, but they're being used for like slave labor. Yeah, but there was like moments where once like Glinda comes on the scene, I feel there's something about the second part of this movie to me felt like Glinda's character was lacking in internal motivation. Like where she starts and like what she does during the movie, it feels like they weren't sure what to do with her character in some ways, if that makes sense. Yeah, I have my main critique of the second movie is my personal opinion is that I think they were trying to clean Glinda's character up a little bit, like to make her more likable, positive, like more aspirational. Like they want little girls or, you know, little children to watch and be like, I could be like that, or I could be like that, and, you know. Yeah. Whereas like I think the story, you know, kind of puts Glinda in a position that is maybe relatable to a lot of people, but not as like positive. Mm-hmm. And I feel like they try to like really take away some of the more selfish motivations of Glinda's character to make her more likable, and then you kind of lose the whole point. Which, yeah, that seems like a mistake to me. I would rather see her being like selfish and human, because then some of the choices she makes would make more sense to me. Yeah, I think she represents like the type of person who, even though she might be well-meaning, is short-sighted of the impact of her choices.
Yeah.
And even though she might have a level of empathy and sympathy for other people, in the end, like Fiyero says to her, like she says, who could? I mean, that's kind of like the whole point of Glinda's character in that moment, is like when at the very beginning, we'll talk about it, when Fiyero says to her, like, you know, you love all of this. Who could you know, she's like, well, who would turn away from all of this? And he's like, you know who would and who has.
Yeah.
That's kind of
Yeah.
like the whole thing, you know, it feels safe for her here, and it's
Yeah.
hard and it might be conflicting, but that's kind of like, you know, the beauty of Glinda is that she's not perfect and she does represent a sect of society, and you know, these things can help you understand other people. And anyway, I think you kind of lose that though when we're afraid to make little children feel bad for liking Ariana Grande in a pink dress.
Yeah.
If that
Which
makes
is too
sense.
bad, because like I think a better lesson for children to learn is the like beautiful person who you might root for can actually be kind of nasty on the inside.
Right. I mean, the whole idea of like, what do we think makes people wicked and good?
Yeah, exactly.
And why does that even matter? And is that real at all when you really look at what we believe makes people wicked and good? And when you look at it underneath and how there's the existence of both of these characteristics that we call wicked and good. I mean, you lose the self-exploration
Yes.
piece by, you know, saying, don't worry, even though she's doing these things, like, she's got good intentions and
Yeah.
she didn't know any better. And, you know, it's good to show all the conditioning and stuff, but you kind of just like lose all, especially with her additional song and stuff. So anyway,
Yeah, yeah.
but
Well, I think kind of once we get those sweeping views of Oz, we sort of get to Glinda's first big public appearance, right?
yes, because the propaganda that we see is like that, you know, the Wicked Witch is out to harm Oz and harm the people of Oz, and she's destroying public property and stuff like that, which we see as her just freeing the animals from slave labor at the beginning of the movie.
Yeah.
And so, yes, now we see what's become of her is like she's the wicked one, and what's become of Glinda is she is having her thank goodness knows beginning of I'm now Glinda the Good.
Yes.
And we see all the opposite gossip and caricatures of her in like pink, and she's like glorified and all of this.
Mm-hmm, yeah, and she's kind of like giving this speech about like goodness and unity and safety, and has all these like handlers to kind of preserve this image of perfection and like spectacle for Oz to like focus on her.
Mm-hmm. And what's happened from school, like she has her whole party of people who still love her. It's the same situation here. It's carried on into like her step into sort of being a public figure out of, you know, just being glorified in school. Now she's got an image to present, and that image is like aligned with Oz now. So
Yes,
she's become
yeah.
like synonymous with like the goodness of Oz, and Madame Horrible Wicked Witch is like, behind her, like, you know, as we know, exalting her when we know secretly she doesn't think she has what it takes.
No. Yeah,
So she got it all going on for her.
she does, but you can kind of see like cracks under the surface pretty quickly on where she's like, there's like pauses before she smiles and things like that where, you know, I think she is troubled by what she is doing. And I kind of wish, I mean, I guess they do dive into that throughout the movie, but sometimes her actions feel discordant with that discomfort, which I guess is sort of to be expected, right? If you have somebody who's like struggling with the choices they're making, sometimes they'll make ones you agree with and sometimes they'll make ones you disagree with. But I don't know. There was something about the characterization in the second movie felt less consistent than it did in the first movie.
Yes, I feel like you see her conflict here, like, oh, you know, I feel like the beginning of the movie they did a good job, because I think Ariana Grande does a good job with like a lot of her acting skills and facial expressions and pausing and all of that. Like you said, like you could see all the conflict going on, like she's finally got everything she wanted, she's got, you know, everyone loves her. She has this, display of having maybe like magical power or magical prowess. She's aligned herself with like the head magician. She's kind of got everything. She's got the guy. What else could she ask for? And it's kind of like that moment of like, you know, like Britney Spears says, there's nothing missing in my life, then why do these tears come at night?
It's she's so lucky. You're right.
It is. There's a song called Stars on the Moon, which is beautiful, by Audra McDonald. Well, it's not by Audra McDonald. She sings it primarily. It's from a not a musical, but like a Broadway review. Anyway, it's called Stars in the Moon. It's very good. And it's about like this character who says like she's been chasing after what she has been told was aspirational in people and what she thought she wanted. And then ultimately when she finally gets it, she passes up these two great opportunities to be with these people who can't offer her the things that she thought she wanted. And then when she gets what she thought she wanted, she realizes she'll never have the moon, like something intangible, you know?
Yeah.
And it kind of is like that kind of feeling for me.
Yeah.
But I think they lose it all when they're like, okay, let's explain it away. Let's go back to her childhood. Let's do the birthday party scene, you know.
Yeah.
They just try to like explain it away in a different way. But this is more about like power and like aligning yourself with power than it is about like, you know, just the acceptance of your peers, which they're kind of making it more about that, I feel like.
Yeah, I agree.
So they confuse the motivation, so I don't blame you for not seeing it. You see it more in the musical. They don't have the girl in the bubble. They don't have like the flashbacks to being liked as a child and all that kind of stuff.
Okay, that makes sense.
Yeah.
So at this like public speech, they announce her engagement to Fiyero, and the crowd obviously eats that up because they're this hot power couple.
Mm-hmm. Which is, by the way, a surprise to Fiyero.
Yes.
This
Yeah.
engagement.
He's like, excuse me, but is kind of like polite but disengaged, and it. Their whole interaction feels very like formal, not romantic, which makes sense because in the first movie you saw him kind of not really be into her much and be a lot more into Elphaba. And so this is kind of not what he signed up for.
Yeah, and you could see he's become now captain of the Gale Force, and he's got this status. But we know he's not ever been, from the very beginning, he's been like kind of like a fly by the seat of his pants kind of guy, and now he's like basically in the army. And like in public, that's not what he wants, and he's in a relationship, and that's also not like in this type of relationship too. And we've seen at the last of the movie, he started to think, which is scary to Glinda.
Yes.
Yeah, and now you can totally see he's totally disenchanted with this whole thing. I love this song, though, the Couldn't Be Happier song, which is longer in the show, because it shows, like, the whole conflict about, like, I should be really happy about all of this, but actually this sucks.
Yeah.
Why do I feel empty? What's going on inside of me?
Very, she's so lucky she's a star.
Very. This is a story about a girl named Lucky.
Oh my god.
This is a story about a girl named Glinda.
Yes.
And this is also when we get like the scenes of Fiyero being like, they talk about the Wicked Witch, how she's being referred to now. They really don't like saying Elphaba. Yeah. So they're talking about the Wicked Witch out there, and we hear from the townspeople of Oz that all these different things they hear about her, that she's got an extra eye, that never sleeps, that water could melt her.
Yeah.
And you get all that whole thing. And then Fiero's like, wow, they believe anything. These people are so empty-headed.
Yeah, he's really like questioning the official narrative of Elphaba and like frustrated that they're still hunting her.
Mm-hmm. Yes, so he's after her, but it doesn't seem like he's after her for the same reasons.
No.
He wants to find her. And Glinda reminds him she doesn't want to be found, and he disagrees. Also, they're always sprinkling these little things in, like he keeps saying things like empty-headed and little things like that that are little breadcrumbs for later.
Yes.
And then this is the moment when what I was talking about before, when she says, like, I can't leave, like, this is great, I can't resist all of this, who could? And he says, you know who could, and you know who has. And she says, but, like, aren't you going to be happy with all of this? And he says, you know me, I'm always happy. Yikes.
Yeah.
Davey said to me, if I ever ask you if you're happy about us being engaged or in a relationship, and you say I'm always happy, you're in so much trouble. Oh, gosh.
So this is when we cut to Elphaba, right?
This is when we see her in the sky, yeah.
Yeah, and she's kind of like
flying around on that broomstick.
Yeah, saving animals from imprisonment and...
and then she makes the message in the sky over Oz during this big announcement that says, our wizard lies, which is very much like in the Wizard of Oz movie, the smoke in the sky.
Yes.
But then before many people could see it, Madame Marble sees it, and we know she's got a skill with magic and the weather, so she changes the clouds to obscure most of the letters, and it says Oz dies instead, and she's like, look, she wants to kill us. mess.
Yeah.
And we see like the flying monkeys are still chasing her. And then this is when she hides out in like the woods, in like the wilderness, blending in with the green. And she overhears Fiyero and company looking for her, and he's like calling her the Wicked Witch, and she's like, wow, even him.
Yes.
And then she has that little memory of all four of them in the field. Her and Glinda, Fiyero, and Nessarose. And it's like, you know, idyllic and sunshiny and pretty.
And then when Fiyero finally, like, finds her, I think she thinks that he's going to, like, betray her, but, like, that he's led his, you know, search party to her, but he ends up showing up alone. And she kind of accuses him of, like, making the easy choices. And he's like, he admits that he regrets not having, like, left all of this behind and choosing her earlier on, basically.
Yeah. Although I think that happens a little bit later.
Oh, did I skip ahead?
You may have, a little bit, but that's okay. I could be wrong. But I don't think they encounter each other quite yet.
Oh,
because I think after this we get the whole Bach and Nessarose situation happening.
Right. Okay. Yes.
Because right after, like, they disappear, we see, like, some sort of indication that Nessarose has become governor of Munchkinland.
Yes.
And then we cut to Nessarose in Munchkinland, and we find out that she's become a really strict leader. Her father has passed away, and she has, you know, stepped in his death, and she's become really, really buttoned up, cold. She's wearing all black now, and she has lost that sort of like delight she had, and we see she's all alone in this like mansion, and Bach is kind of like her servant, if anything.
Yeah, it's uncomfortable because she clearly is like in love with him, but he clearly doesn't really have the depth of feeling for her that she does for him.
Yeah,
and so,
like really not at all.
Yeah, and so he's sort of just like working for her, which is it's uncomfortable.
It's very uncomfortable. And in the show, it's way more clear. The line is way more clear that Bach is not there for romantic and never has been for romantic interest. In the movie, it kind of seems like the line is blurred.
Mm-hmm.
But it feels like in the show, yes, the line is blurred that he's always pretended to have interest in her only to impress Glinda. But it's in the show, it's a little bit more like he's a servant. And he's a kind of dejected from the start, but there's not a lot of like the laws and stuff like that are going to come into play. It's just a much colder Nessarose in the show. And I don't think they wanted to do that for the movie, but they made some changes I liked with her for the movie actually, which in this scene. But I lost my spot. Sorry.
I forgot to mention that when Elphaba is talking to the animals, she encounters the Cowardly Lion, who is a piece of shit in this movie, and is like, no, we have to run. Like, we can't trust Elphaba. Blah blah blah. So fuck that lion.
I know. He totally remembers it wrong. Yeah. She whatchamacallit. Yeah, that's actually the next scene. The last thing in the thing is that we find out that she blocks Bach from leaving. He wants to leave just to go, like, not be stuck in Munchkinland, and she realizes it. So she blocks Munchkin travel, and so he's stuck there, and he's obviously really pissed by that. You know what Bach reminds me of?
SpongeBob
now rewatching
SquarePants?
This? Huh?
SpongeBob SquarePants?
Yes. But the character kind of reminds me of like an incel, to be honest.
Oh, for sure.
I didn't see that the first time. I saw him more sympathetic, but he seems like the type of person who only recognizes oppression when it's happening to his group of people.
Yes.
And then cannot even see it even after that in any other person, and just sees everyone else as an enemy, and, you know, something has been taken away from him.
Yes.
Gross. Very gross. And you see it in the movie too. I mean in the show too. But yeah, now we see her encounter all the animals, and they're all going underground. The Cowardly Lion ruins everything and says she kidnapped her. But he doesn't remember. But I mean, keep being cowardly then.
Honestly.
And then we see Dulcibert, her like nanny from when she was younger, who is in the books but not in the musical.
Oh, okay. And
she goes underground at this point and is like, sorry, it's not worth it. And then we get a new song for the movie that's not in the show called No Place Like Home that Cynthia Erivo sings.
I liked it.
I liked it too. I sometimes feel like when they make songs for musicals that are not in the musical, it's so obvious. Or even for a movie. Like, think about Aladdin, Jasmine's song.
I forgot about that entirely.
Exactly. Or when we saw Beauty and the Beast, when the prince has a song and it just does not
Yes.
fit at all. It's like, what are these songs? I feel
I'm
like
sorry,
this actually sounded like it fit with the rest of the musical.
I completely forgot about the Beast song from Beauty and the Beast, and all I can think is like it felt like some like song by Meatloaf.
Oh my god. I mean, basically, Michael Bolton. But yeah, this I liked. I like the song, and it's No Place Like Home. It's about like not wanting to flee, but like fighting for your place and hope and all of that and blah blah.
Yeah.
Blah. But the Lions and everyone is like, listen, it's not right, and that might be nice for you, but it's too dangerous for us, and we got to go. But we do find out here that the flying monkeys discover in this scene that she didn't make their monkey wings on purpose.
Right.
And that she was tricked, and she regrets it, and I think they start to realize, like, oh, okay, maybe we can stop chasing her.
Yeah.
Maybe she's not the enemy.
Is this when we get the scene where Nessa Rose tries to make Bach fall in love with her?
Yes. Yes, Bach is chopping wood, hint, hint, and bringing in a tin tea set. And I don't know if you noticed, but on his chest, the Munchkin logo for the city of Munchkinland is, like, right over his heart, and it's basically the shape of a heart.
Yes, I did notice that.
I love these. I'm a cornball. I love this kind of shit. But yeah, they have the confrontation where he's really upset with her because he can't leave, and she's like, he won't even call her Nessa. She's like governess or whatever. And when he leaves the room, Elphaba appears and is like, oh, and we see that they're not getting along. She resents her for a lot of reasons. She resents Elphaba for basically everything.
Yeah.
And blames her for not just coming to see their dad when he passed away and leaving her to take over. But she wants her help. She's like, you're the governor. You can help. People will listen to you. And she's like, why should I help you?
Right.
Do something for me for once. So this is the big change from the movie to the show. I don't know if you know about this change or not.
No.
But this is, I think, a good change. So in the show, at this point, Nessa wants to walk again.
Yeah.
And so the whole thing, Elphaba makes magic to allow her to walk again by like enchanting the magical slippers.
Yeah.
And she's able to stand and walk, and as we know, she's in a wheelchair for the entirety of the movie since she was little. And so in the movie, instead what she wants is that feeling she had again at the Ozdusk, like she was floating on air, and so she's able to enchant the slippers in the same way, but instead of having her walk, it has her like floating in the air again and experiencing what she wanted again.
Yeah, I think think that's better. Yeah.
100%. Yeah, 100%. But it's the same effect. Basically, she's happy now. Bach runs in, is afraid of the Wicked Witch, of course, because he still doesn't get it. And is happy to see that now you're happy, so now you'll let me go. He says, like, you're happy, surely you won't mind that I leave now because you've always known I've been in love with Glinda from the jump. Which, I mean, not that he's ever told her that, but
all of us with eyeballs could see it.
Yes, of course. But now this breaks her heart, and we have the song, which is the Wicked Witch of the East, when she runs over to the Grimmery and tries to cast like a love spell, but it ends up not working. She doesn't know how to read it, and so it starts to shrink his heart instead.
Yes.
And in an effort to save him, of course, she puts it on Elphaba, and Elphaba's like, get out, I'll do what I can. She casts a spell that turns him into the Tin Man, where he doesn't need a heart to live anymore, and is like, you're welcome, I gotta go. I'll do this on my own. And then she calls herself the Wicked Witch of the East and, feels the guilt, but still blames Elphaba.
Yeah.
It's hard. It's rough. That's a rough scene to watch.
I agree. It's
heartbreaking.
I mean, Nessa Rose is kind of a shit in this movie.
Yeah, and in the show, she's a little bit nastier. She's much colder. They don't really give her the same backstory in the first act or the second act. You see the change in her from the first act to the second act, but when she gets there, she's really pissed at Elphaba from the jump. And it's much more like, and then immediately blames her. It's hard to feel a lot of sympathy for her in the show, but you do feel sympathy because you see, like, what did they come from,
Yeah.
Look at the bastard that they came from. Anyway, so we got that scene, and then we realize that Bach, now the Tin Man, who looked great, I think, by the way.
Yeah, he did look really good.
And stuff.
Mm-hmm.
I was really worried. Thought it looked really cool, and I like the way they like cut out his like knees and stuff to look like when he ran and stuff.
Mm-hmm.
To look like hinges. But anyway, he blames Elphaba too because
why not?
Why not? Why not blame the easy target? And runs out. Glinda's getting ready for her wedding.
Yes.
White bats flying in the air. Nice detail.
Yes.
I loved it. I also like that when they say to wait, they say, give me a clock tick.
Oh my god. Oh, I'm sorry. You say that like they say it once or twice in the movie. They say it every other word.
Into it.
Oh my god.
But this is when Elphaba sneaks like into like surreptitiously chat with her to say goodbye, basically, because she wants to go talk to the wizard.
Yeah.
And
Which, the
Glinda's
whole
no.
the whole like exchange with Elphaba and Glinda and the wizard was so strange to me. Like again, I was just like, because they like basically try to convince Elphaba to like join their side again and like think of how much good we could all do together.
Mm-hmm.
And it's just, and Elphaba's kind of like, she sort of, I don't want to say she like buys it, but she like buys it.
Yeah.
And
she's into it for a minute.
yeah, and they're all kind of like singing and dancing together. And it's just like, wait a minute, but you've had an entire country talking about how I'm evil and need to be like hunted down and murdered. So what about that?
Mm-hmm. She's willing to forgive all of that if it means that the animals will be safe. She's like, well, listen, I will take it on the chin. I've been taking it my whole life.
Yeah.
So, okay, so this is different in the show too, and it makes more sense in the show. In the show, Glinda's not part of this at all.
Okay.
It's just Elphaba and the wizard, and she comes back to see the wizard to confront him in private and say, like, I'm going to expose you unless you expose yourself. And he explains to her, like, this is the nature of the world. Basically, people will believe what they want to believe because it's easier, and I could basically tell them I'm the bad guy and they won't believe it because it makes them feel unsafe. So
Yeah.
it doesn't really matter. And then they sing, but he's trying to convince her. He's like, don't you see we can work together? We can put things in the past. And he sings the wonderful song with her, just the two of them. I think in the movie they added Glinda in because no one wants to hear another
Jeff
song,
Goldblum.
no offense, of just what's his name? I'm sorry.
Jeff Goldblum.
Jeff Goldblum. Yeah, no one wants to hear another song of just Jeff Goldblum, even if it's with Cynthia Erivo. So they needed to jazz it up a little bit because her part in the original song isn't much.
Okay.
So I think and plus the scene is much more beautiful and it looked a lot cooler in the movie than it did in the show.
Okay.
But yeah, they try to convince her and she's like, fine, I'll let it all go behind me if you just let the animals free. Let all the animals free that are here, like the monkeys. Because she thinks the only animals that are locked up still
Are the monkeys.
are the monkeys. Everyone else is banished. She wants them allowed back in, but just the monkeys are free. And he's like, done. And she frees the monkeys and she says, fly, fly, as they're flying out, which I thought was cute. By the way, when they were doing the song Wonderful,
Mm-hmm.
and Glinda and Elphaba are on that swing with all the like lights around them.
Oh,
Gorgeous.
I'm sorry, the lesbian moment?
Yes.
My
I was like,
God.
take me there.
I honestly, for a minute, I was like, are they going to kiss?
There is always like theories of the theories of the two of them being in love for sure from the very beginning of Wicked on Broadway. So I mean, I think they're doing their thing with this.
Yeah, it's as far as I think this is a Disney property, right?
I think it is now. Yes,
It's like the closest I think Disney would, if this was Disney,
Yeah.
like get toward like, you know what, let's make them like. Honestly, their whole thing makes so much more sense if they're in love with each other. And so, like, to me, this was like doing as much service to the people who recognize that and would be okay with it as they could without alienating,
100%. Yeah. This is their what do they call it? LeFou dancing with a guy for 5
Oh
seconds
my
at the end of
God.
Beauty and the Beast.
God, I forgot about that movie. God, that movie was bad.
But different visually was this. We see the monkeys are freed, but the monkey shows that there's a hidden chamber. Elphaba finds it. All the animals are locked up, including Dr. Dillamond, who can't speak anymore. And so, the wizard comes in and tries to explain things, but she's like, the deal is off, you piece of shit. And she says, run. And she lets all the animals go, and there's a stampede that goes through the ceremony between Glinda and Fiyero.
Which is good because they don't get married, but also sad because the wedding was so pretty.
It was
like
gorgeous.
that.
I wrote the same thing. I was like, it's
That's-
gorgeous.
That set was so beautiful.
Yes, those flowers, the beautiful pink flowers and the white birchy kind of wood on the massive trees, and it was gorgeous.
Yeah, I loved it.
When I was little, I had a book called Animalia. And it was a picture book from A to Z, and every page had a letter, and all the animals of that letter were like illustrated doing something crazy with all different things from that letter, like tigers having tea,
Cute.
whatever. And honestly, the scene of them all the animals bursting through was literally, I was like, oh my god, I want to go order that Animalia book I have when I was little.
That's so funny.
The weird memories you get from your childhood.
So I think this is where I skipped ahead to, where now Fiyero goes and finds Elphaba in her little hut.
Yes.
And they kiss and she has sweater sex with him.
Yeah, she does. I love this scene, though.
I do too.
They have good
And
chemistry, Fiyero and Elphaba, even though he's super gay.
Considering both of them are gay, I
Yeah,
was like,
true, exactly. True.
Hey.
True. Duh. Yes.
Uh,
Yeah, they do. I do think they have good chemistry. And then we see, like, Ariana Grande is kind of accepting it on her own. She has an I'm Not That Girl reprise that she realizes, like, she's not that girl.
Also, I'm sorry, just one more thing. Jonathan Bailey could have chemistry with a broomstick.
Very true. He's beautiful.
Not that Cynthia Erivo didn't do a great job. She did. I'm just saying,
Yeah.
like, everyone has chemistry with Jonathan Bailey.
Yes. And I love that song. It's one of my favorites from the show, both the musical and the movie, As Long As You're Mine.
Yeah.
Gorgeous. It's
It
such
is
a vibe. The music is so, like, 80s.
Yeah.
I love it.
right.
But anyway,
Now,
after this
I think
happens,
Madame
there's this-
Morrible.
Yeah, Madame Morrible, Wicked Witch. She sends us. This is because right before all of this, Madame Morrible realizes that she could use Glinda, or I guess Glinda hears the wizard, who she now knows is like not who she thought he was, which she kind of always knew, and Madame Morrible talking, and she hears that they want to get back at her, but they can't really figure out how, and they're gonna try to figure something out. So she says, you could start a rumor about her sister. Start a rumor about her sister. The housewives memes are so iconic for that.
Oh, for all the Kim and Kyle Richards stuff.
Yes.
Yeah, so nasty.
Start a rumor about her sister, she'll run to her, and then she leaves, and we find out that Madame Morrible and the wizard are like, that's not enough. So by the way, the wizard is like drinking his ass off out of those little green jars through the whole movie.
Yes.
Like a total drunk, which reminded me of the wizard in The Wiz, who, when we find him, is drinking in a room that looks very much like the room that we're in for this whole scene.
I have no memory of that at all.
He was like a drunk. He was drinking and he was down and out, and he was feeling sorry for himself, and he wanted Dorothy to help him because he was a failure in Kansas. So this gave you very much that vibe. But anyway, this is the scene where we see Madame Morrible deciding to do more than just a rumor. She starts a storm with her magical powers, and we see the beautifully rendered tornado outside that looks very much like the Wizard of Oz. And as it's happening, we know what's going to happen. The house is flying up on it, and Elphaba senses it, and she says, there's a house. I forget how she says it, but it's like kind of like the movie. You're like, there's a house, and it's going in the sky, or whatever.
Yeah.
And she says, Fiyero, like, we might have just banged and stuff, but we'll have to be together later because I got to go save my sister. I know she's in danger.
Yeah.
And then Fiyero escapes, and the monkeys see him, and they say, hey, by the way, we're allies now, and they throw their little armor down. And then he's like, cool, see ya.
Meanwhile, I think they send Glinda to, like, do cleanup to the tornado house, and, like, kind of Madame Morrible basically says, like, oh, send Dorothy on her way to Oz and, like, give her Nessa Rose's shoes as kind of, like, protection and, like, you know, political optics and stuff like that. And that all kind of happens, and, like, Dorothy heads to Oz while Elphaba shows up after Glinda has kind of, like, sent Dorothy on her way.
Mm-hmm. And I love that as Elphaba's saying goodbye. We see Dorothy from only behind and from, like, the side through the whole movie, but she's on her way out, and we hear Glinda's like, bye, Dorothy. Bye, Dodo.
Yeah.
I love their like irritation with Dorothy through the whole movie.
Yes.
It kind of cracks me up. Yeah, this is when we have the moment when Glinda and Elphaba are together outside of the house, and she's upset because obviously, look what's happened to her sister. Glinda didn't expect this, but suspected it after it happened. But they have a big fight because, a man.
I found this interaction a little strange, only because I always got the impression that Elphaba really loved her sister, even though she was like, maybe jealous of her, maybe frustrated by her, all of that, typical things. But it felt like they kind of skipped it just felt like Elphaba didn't have any room for mourning, and it just went straight to anger.
Yeah, I feel like the way you see it in the show, since shows happen more rapidly, you see how she is internalizing it more. She's very upset by it. She's in grief in her own way about it. But I think she kind of said goodbye to her sister in a way in the previous scene.
I guess I could kind of see that, yeah.
And she's never really had her family behind her, and she's kind of in the second act going to people to see if anyone is on her side as she is trying to take on the system, and everywhere she goes she's being told no, you're on your own.
Yeah.
So in the show it's much more understandable, but I totally agree. It feels a little disjointed.
Yeah.
But yeah, this kind of cuts up the tension. They really do fast forward past my sister's under that house right now, and where are her shoes is the last thing I have of her.
Yeah,
can I at least have, they were my mother's and they were hers, and she's deal with it. I gave them to the girl, and let's fight over this guy now.
Yeah, and fight they do, and for some reason Ariana Grande does some straight up Ninja Turtles moves with her wand. But I did like her. I mean, it was ridiculous, but I liked the sort of over the top
silliness,
hair flips and noises that Ariana makes.
Yeah, and they do the same thing, and whoever played her when we saw her in the show had her own similar kind of thing. How her mannerisms through the whole show showed up in this fight and stuff. It really does break up the moment, which is then kind of interrupted because Fiyero shows up with the guards, and at first he's pointing the gun at the Wicked Witch.
Yeah.
But then he quickly points it at Glinda instead, and he's let her go, or you'll see, you'll be to blame for Glinda's slaying. And Glinda's I can't believe this, but then realizes kind of through this moment it's kind of the right thing to do, and she's accepting what's going on. And Elphaba runs off and says she'll, that thank you, whatever, I'll go do my thing. Glinda tries to save Fiyero afterwards, but the guards are no, too late. Talk to the wizard if you want to. He's in trouble. And they said they're going to take him to a field and tear him apart until he tells them what he knows about about how he's working with the Wicked Witch.
Yeah, and
my favorite song, No Good Deed Goes Unpunished.
Oh, yeah. That one is really good.
This is my favorite song from the second act. I don't care if it's not the, song at the end, Defying Gravity. I love this song. This is when Elphaba is, kind of had her last moment where she's I'm done trying to help people, because every time I try to help someone, something bad happens.
I get fucked over, yeah.
I love this song.
I liked this song. I liked she, cast the spell to save him. And I think, yes, with your quote, and turns him into the Scarecrow to kind of save him.
Yeah, because the lines are basically about having him feel no pain if he's being beat up, and save his flesh, and let him never die no matter what happens.
Yes.
So we don't know yet, but this makes him this turns into the Scarecrow, but she has no idea what happens, and she's what even happened in the song? Is he alive or dead? I don't even know if I'm even doing anything with this magic. But she's basically I'm done trying to be nice. I'm done trying to I'm done doing good things. I'm over it. I'm over it. It's not worth it.
Yeah.
It's so sad.
It is sad.
And then we see the four on their way. They kind of fast forward a little bit in time, and we see Dorothy, the wizard, the Scarecrow, the lion, and the Tin Man have all gotten together. They're being told by the wizard to bring me the broomstick, and we see them from behind, so we still don't see the identity of the Scarecrow, or we never see Dorothy, but and we see they're out on their way. The wizard is still drunk, hanging out with Madame Morrible. and we get like kind of like a song with the townspeople. It's like a march against the Wicked Witch, and we see they're all like, you know, emblazoned to go kill her, to get the broom and bring it back, and everyone's behind them because they hate the witch. And we see Bach, now the Tin Man, is leading the charge. He's like an angry incel, basically, screaming about how, look what she's done to me, look what she did to this lion, speaking for the lion, even though, you know, the lion told the story already, getting everyone behind him to get the... He's really mad. He's like, in this one, he's like after the witch. Like, he wants to really be the one. He doesn't want Dorothy to throw the water. He wants to, like, slice her head off.
100%. I think I sent you some memes of, like... the Tin Man in The Wizard of Oz versus Wicked, where it's like...
Oh, I've seen some.
It's so funny.
Yeah, so we got that, and then we cut to Ariana Grande having like a moment of reflection where, I don't know if we saw it earlier or not, but she remembers being a little kid and wanting magic back then, but not getting it, and learning the lesson from her mom that all that matters is if people like you. And, you know, now not much has changed, and she still doesn't have the magic, and so now we have the moment where she's like reflecting on everything. It's called The Girl in the Bubble. It's a new song for the movie. It's cute.
Yeah.
But I don't think it helps the story, but it's, you know, it's cute for this version of Glinda. And it's basically like saying, like, you can't unsee what you've seen, and who am I, and what are my motivations actually, and maybe I don't want to be in this bubble after all, blah, blah. But then she goes and confronts Madame Morrible right after this, because she thinks she's the one. She's like, I suspect you were the one who did something to Nessa Rose. And she's like, oh, come on. You knew it was going to happen. Yeah. And why don't you just do what you're good at, which is smile, wave, and shut up because you wanted this, which sounds a lot like what people are saying about people in the media right now.
Yes.
But yeah, now Glinda's like totally like, okay, I can't ignore it anymore. So
no. And this is when she heads off to find Elphaba, right?
Yes. So we see her on the horseback, and we are like, oh, that's who it was in the cloak on the horse at the beginning of the first movie.
Yeah.
It was Glinda.
I thought this kind of reunion scene between Glinda and Elphaba, where they are, you know, talking about their differences and expressing their clear love for each other, without sort of excusing the choices of the other one. Like, I thought this was a really beautiful scene as they're sort of like waiting for, you know, this murderous mob to arrive to come for Elphaba.
100%. This is more of like the Glinda that I think is better. This is the like true essence of what I think she's supposed to be all about. Is like they are exactly what you said. Exactly what you said. I love that moment, and I also love that the whole time this is happening, Dorothy is like in a little thingy at the what is it, the cell.
Oh,
like she at the beginning of the scene we see just from Dorothy's perspective looking up at Elphaba, and she's like, if you want to see your aunt, shut up and give me those shoes.
Yes.
And there's been so many memes of like all the like all this happening, and like Dorothy's down in this in the basement, listening to the two of them have this beautiful moment.
Oh yeah.
My God.
I think Ariana Grande, I mean, I literally think she's like one of the most talented people on the planet. She's obviously one of the best singers alive, and also really a tremendous actor as well, for both like comedy and drama. Like her pain in this movie when her wedding is ruined, when she sort of like comes to these realizations of her having been complicit in ostracizing Elphaba and trying to kind of like reconcile with her in these moments. Like, she's really does a phenomenal job.
I agree. And she conveys a lot with just her face. A lot.
Totally.
Yeah. It's not a lack of her ability. It's a cleanup of some script choices.
Yes.
But yeah, I love this moment too. This is the true like relationship between the two of them. They've got such good chemistry.
When Elphaba basically says like, I have to sacrifice myself or this will never end, and they kind of like, she closes Dorothy in a closet closet. And then you kind of see them on either side, like touching the door.
Oh yeah, her and Glinda on the opposite sides of the closet.
Yes.
Yes. Oh, right before this though, we have to say a flying monkey comes in, the main one, and gives Elphaba a scrap of Fiero's uniform.
Oh,
and we
yeah.
see something's written on it. We don't see what's written on it, but she's reading it, and Glinda's like, "What is that? Is that Fiero?" And she says, "We'll never see his face again, or we've seen his
Yes.
face for the last time," which was a very Aes Sedai way of saying
Yes.
something but not saying something. But yeah, so we see that. Then she's like, okay, we have to go. The moment of them on the opposite sides of the door was so emotional.
Yeah.
Even more when
Really?
I watched it again, I was like, oh my god. It did remind me of Brandy and Monica though.
For sure.
Right. And I have to just say before because we're coming to an end and I haven't mentioned it yet, the costumes in this effing movie are insane.
They're great. Really, really
So good. And I know we might have mentioned it the first time, but I remember hearing that he based a lot of them on mushrooms and fungus and fungi.
Oh, I don't remember that. I love that.
Oh, and you could totally see it, and in there, you see it a lot more clearly in Ariana Grande's outfits because they're so colorful, so you could see every detail. But
Yeah.
even in Cynthia Erivo's outfits, you could see in the black. There's so many like these like swirls and these flaps and these petals, and really really cool.
Love that.
But yeah, so then we see she basically says like they need a wicked witch to exist so that you could be good. I have to be wicked, so you have to be good. And she says,
Yeah.
you have to promise me that you won't clear my name after I'm gone, after I disappear. And like you could do what I couldn't do, and we get the song for good. And she starts out by saying, instead of unlimited, she says, I'm limited the same way. And she says, look at me. And then Ariana looks at her and she's like, not with your eyes, with theirs. And then we get this moment between the two of them of acting that's just so beautiful, like we've seen so many times. And then she's like, here, I'm going to give you the grimoire. She's like, I can't read it. And she's like, well, you're going to have to learn because you're going to have to start doing things that I couldn't do. And then we get the For Good music or song,
Yeah.
which is beautiful. But I still think Defying Gravity is a way better ending song.
Oh, I agree completely. I will say, though, that, so Dorothy gets let out of her little cavern and she throws water on Elphaba, who we see
the shadow
her
is only doing
shadow melt, and we're seeing it kind of from Ariana's perspective through like the keyhole of the closet she's locked in.
Mm-hmm. And she's heartbroken.
And it's very sad for her.
Yeah.
Obviously, she thinks her, the love of her life is essentially being murdered.
Exactly, and she's watching it.
Yeah.
By someone she sent after her.
Yes.
P.S.
Yes.
Yeah, very hard. And then, we see the shadow of Dorothy celebrating.
Yes.
Just like, get out of here, you nasty little brat. And then they're off, and then we see that, Glinda goes out and she hugs the hat that's there in this pile of smoke and water, and she sees the little green bottle left behind from Elphaba's mother. And
Yes.
she recognizes it's the same bottle that the wizard's been drinking out of, and she makes the connection. She puts it in her pocket, but she's really upset because, obviously he's her best friend is dead. So she goes and she confronts the wizard and says, I don't have the broomstick, but she's dead after all of this. How could you? And by the way, here's this little bottle she had with her.
Mm-hmm.
And he's like, oh my god. And he realizes, we see a flashback, he was the guy in the beginning with Elphaba's mother who came into town with the little green bottle. Surprise, surprise.
Yeah.
Not much of a surprise at this point. So he is the father.
Somebody get, oh God, what's his name? Phil
Laurie?
Donahue on the phone.
So I guess Sally just said Raphael out here.
Oh, Jerry Springer's who I meant, not Phil Donahue.
I was thinking more and more. But yeah, so he's the father and he's shocked, and then in the movie it's Elphaba that makes this connection. Madame Morrible's there in the show and explains that because Elphaba was the child of two worlds, that's why she had this inherent sense of magic within her, and why everything was the way it was, why she was green probably. And she says to him, you have to leave Oz today. I will expose everything. You have no future here. So after your big to-do with Dorothy and all them, just make something up. You're good at that.
Yeah.
Then we cut to Glinda seeing Dorothy off. Like, bye,
Mhm.
Dorothy. And she goes, I swear it never ends with that girl. But then she confronts Madame Morrible, who is like trying to do the whole like, oh, I like you now. Oh, did I ever
Yes.
tell you? And she's like, no, enough of that. You're gonna be punished for this. And she says, while you're in jail or whatever, we'll see how you do. I doubt you have what it takes. We'll see if you prove me wrong. I doubt you will.
Mm-hmm.
And the flying monkeys fly her away like Julianne Moore in that movie from the early aughts where they fly into the sky. I also loved Michelle Yeoh's hair throughout the movie, how it changes into like different like cloud-like formations. Did you notice that?
Her wigs were great.
Yeah. Then we have her go off to the bubble, and we're brought to the beginning of movie 1 where she's, doing the whole thing, and then that Karen comes out of the audience and is like, didn't you know her?
Yes.
And we see the same beginning, but at this time she says, wait, I have something more to say. She puts her wand down and goes out and addresses the people. There's an annoying little brat looking up at her with this doe-eyed look. But she says, this is for all the inhabitants of Oz come out, and all of the animals come out. And she says, we've been through a frightening time, and I want things to change, and I want to be part of it, and I'm going to be Glinda the Good. And they all celebrate.
Yeah.
And then we see the reveal back at the tower where the hat is there. We see the Scarecrow shows up, and we see it's Fiyero, who looks great also as a Scarecrow, by the way. Still hot.
Yeah.
There, I said it. He opens what's a trapdoor, and there is Elphaba just doing fine. She's alive, just hatless. She says, he's like, it worked. They all believe you're dead. So we obviously know that there was some sort of plan on that scrap. And also, knowing that she didn't die here, thinking back to The Wizard of Oz and the theatricality of how she dies, it makes a lot, it tracks.
Yeah, for sure.
To be like a stage thing.
Also,
the melting, cruel world, all that stuff.
Right, exactly.
And I thought that was great. So then he says time to go, and they, Elphaba wishes they could tell Glinda that they're alive, but realizes that they can't.
Yeah.
Glinda takes the Grimmery to... Oh, there's a fun little fact I have about this. I don't know if you know this. Glinda takes the Grimmery to the Defying Gravity type room or whatever that they were in before, and walks outside and looks out into the world of Oz from the top. And in the meantime, Elphaba is walking out in like the world of Dune.
You're right.
Just right outside of the Emerald Kingdom with the Scarecrow, and they both have like a little moment where they sing a little like I've been changed for good moment for each other. We see this moment with Elphaba from the desert like seemingly doing something, and then back in the room with Glinda, the Grimmery glows and she runs over to it to a certain page. And we looked it up. Well, I'll tell you in a second, because this is the end of the movie. So the last scene is, them doing their own thing, and then we get the image that you see like from the playbill from Wicked being recreated with like Glinda whispering into Elphaba's ear.
Yes.
Beautiful. But the Grimmery, people have decoded what the spell was on the page. Oh. Very clever.
What is it?
And it is a spell for relieving your pain.
Oh.
So the theory is Elphaba turned to this page for her to relieve her own pain of like thinking that they're gone. And there's a lot of like theories about what that could mean based on how the Grimmery works. It's usually not like so straightforward. So my guess is it would make her forget the truth and believe what everyone else believes about them.
Or it would allow them to connect with each other and find out that she's not dead after all.
That would be the best.
I like that explanation.
Me too. But yeah, that's it. And I think I basically told most of the differences from the stage show to the musical. The main ones, like Nessa Rose, and in the movie, they have a lot more of Madame Morrible. She's in it way more because the other teachers don't really exist besides Dr. Dillamond.
Oh, okay.
So she plays the role of any teacher role you see, really. She's way more nefarious from the start in the show. You're not like... you're suspicious of her from the very beginning, even though she seems like kind of nice. Yeah, and I think other than that, we don't see as many animals sing. It's mainly Dr. Dillamond as an animal singing. You just see other animals in the background. Basically the same. But it was great. The show was great. I highly recommend if anyone has the opportunity to see it on any sort of Broadway or off-Broadway stage. It is really, really great. And it is much quicker than seeing the movie.
Yeah.
Well,
I did just little pieces of, trivia and things. Obviously, when they're fighting with their wands, Glinda makes fun of Elphaba's laugh, which is like a nod to the iconic Wicked Witch laugh from the original Wizard of Oz movie, and I thought that was really fun and funny.
me too.
Fiero's horse is blue, which is a nod to the horse of a different color from the Wizard of Oz.
Oh, that's fun.
Mm-hmm.
I love that.
And the like Our Wizard Lies skywriting is a nod to the Wicked Witch writing Surrender Dorothy in the Wizard of Oz movie.
Mm-hmm. I loved how when the slippers are being enchanted, they turn ruby for a little bit.
Yes, I liked that too. Yeah, I think those were all the pieces of trivia I had. How would you rate this movie, or give me the ratings? I guess.
Yeah. All right. So the ratings here: IMDb 6.7. Rotten Tomatoes, the tomato meter was 66%, and the audience meter the popcorn meter was 93%. And this is as of like last week, so this is still a current-ish movie, so forgive me if it's changed by the time you're listening.
Yeah, that's interesting. So it has a lower IMDb score than Return to Oz, which is kind of wild.
For now.
Yes.
I already can feel what your score is going to be. But I'm curious, what is your score going to be?
Oh, well, now I want you to tell me what you guess my score is going to be.
I'm thinking it's going to be around a 5.
Okay, I was actually going to give it a 6.5.
Oh,
I think,
okay.
I think it was good. I don't think it was nearly as good as the first one.
I would agree.
But it was still great and like fun music, great acting, pretty visuals. Yeah, I thought it was really fun. And I gave the original Wicked a 9.5.
Okay.
And you gave it a 9.8. So, it's still in the arena.
Yeah, I think that's fair. I am going to give it an 8.
Okay. I think
Solid
that's fair
8.
too. Okay.
Yeah, I didn't think it was as good as the first, although, generally speaking, as a musical head, I don't always think that the second act is this... Not that it's not as good as the first act, and that's kind of how they separated this, obviously. But I feel like the first act is way more exciting, always.
Yeah,
and
I
the second
agree.
act is really a lot of, like, the resolution after, like, a peak. Maybe some more peaks, but it's really, like, the end of the story.
Yeah.
And that's never as iconic. Most of the songs I like from musicals are from the first acts, and then there's some in the second act I like. So I gave it some grace because of that, because I do think it's like kind of like the end of the story.
Yeah.
But yeah, I think some of it could... The first one I could watch over and over again, and I was excited too. This one, even though I loved it, watching it again, I was like, okay, it's a long movie, and I felt it a little bit. So
Yeah.
But yeah, no good deed goes unpunished. I can listen to 100,000 times on repeat. I'll say that.
I'm assuming this is a beauty for you.
Yeah, it's still a beauty for me.
Yeah, I would say so too. Like, even though I'm only giving it a 6.5, I would still say it's like worth seeing and a well done movie.
Yeah, and I think the acting was great. I don't think that I still think everyone did a great job. I loved the costuming still, and I liked all the practical effects and set. And I was really, really curious how they were going to do the Tin Man and the lion and the scarecrow, and I think they all looked good.
I agree.
And I think it was a wise choice to limit the attention on the lion.
Yeah.
Given it was not a human being. But yeah, it was great. I was excited to watch it. I'm excited to move on to something new next week.
Well, I was just going to say, before we do our closing, do you want to tell the people what we're doing next week?
Yes, we are watching Sabrina.
Sabrina,
not the Teenage Witch. We're into February, so we're doing something... What is this, rom-com?
It's like a romance-ish movie from what I understand. I've never seen it, but it's a redo. I mean, obviously it's one that is rebooted, and so and I think the original Sabrina is Audrey Hepburn, right?
I believe so. It's Audrey Hepburn, and then I know Richard Gere is in the reboot, but that's it.
Should be fun. Should be interesting.
I'm excited. It should be good.
Yeah.
And as you're all waiting for the next episode, if you'd like to help us grow, the best thing that you could do is to rate and review this podcast on whatever platform you're using to listen to us on right now.
Oh my gosh, yes. And tell a friend who you think might be interested, because word of mouth is the number one reason somebody tries a podcast.
Yes, you can find us on social media on RebootyPod on Instagram. You can also email us, rebootypod@gmail.com. We do love hearing from you. We love suggestions. We love your feedback. If you want us to read something on the air, just give us permission.
Yes. We also have a Patreon, which is patreon.com/nandmatt. We do monthly bonus episodes, mostly movie reviews, but we also oftentimes play fun games. There's a whole back catalog, and I think our next planned Patreon episode is going to be the America's Next Top Model documentary that is coming out in just like a week, so that'll be really fun.
I have been with bated breath.
Yes.
Anyway, thank you all so much for listening to Rebooty and the Beast.
See you next week.
Bye.
Bye.